Hi, this is Glenda. This is Scenic Card number 2, and it's done in a similar way, but this time I've used die cuts more than stamping, so I thought I'll show this one. So I shall try and put it, I don't think where I can put it where you can see it and me, never mind. I'm also conscious of, I've tried to, because I flipped the video last time, it seems to pull it in a bit, and I don't know if people prefer that or to have it upside down. But I've tried to straighten the camera a little bit more this time. I don't know. I'm trying. Okay, so I have broken china distress ink, and I've got a standard piece of card. Again, it's just a 115 GSM smoothish card that we used to use at work in our copier, and I'm just going to sponge it. I've noticed if I use these sponges, which are basically a car sponge cut into pieces, it actually leaves a bit of a texture pattern. I don't know how well it's showing up, but I don't mind it actually. But I thought I won't necessarily have enough blending tools for everybody, so we'll see how we go with the sponge. And because we're not masking it this time, it's slightly different. You don't need to come all the way down to the bottom, but it doesn't matter how far you come down. So that's that piece. I'll put that aside. And then I want another piece that's just can be scrap. It doesn't have to be anything. I mean, it's the same cardstock, but this one is the bit that I cut off. I did not pinch it from work. It was obsolete letterhead from 2 or 3 versions ago, and I haven't worked there for over 3 years. So, and this time I've got shabby shutters, and we're just doing the same thing. I will just have to move that, or I'm going to muck it up. Okay, now I am going to spritz this because, as you can see, it's fairly blobby, which a little bit of blobby is okay, but this is kind of a step too far. That'll just help smooth it a little bit, and I may do the same to the sky, but it doesn't particularly matter because I'm going to put clouds on it again, and I'm going to dry them this time. Now I have, if I can pick it up, this die, which is just a little hill scene with a house. And I mean, there's all sorts of these on the market, and punches and various things that will give you a thing like this, and I'm going to go and just die cut that piece out. Okay, so just going to snip off the excess here and here, and I've just got a grey marker. I'm going to colour in the house. I nearly cut it off. I wasn't sure if I really wanted a house in this or not, so I basically ended up covering it up anyway. But I did the same thing last time, managed to get some on that tree. Very annoying. At least I'm consistent. Okay, now I want some peeled paint. And we're just going to darken the trees a bit, partly prompted by the need to hide the fact that I got grey on this tree. No, I would have done it anyway. Okay, so I think I want it sort of like that. So I'm going to put some tape along the bottom of the sky and along the hill. And if I can reach my glue, I'm just going to put some little dots on these trees and the house. And again, it was sort of like that, I guess. Too much glue. And cut the excess off. Okay, now the clouds. I'm not going to have enough distress stain for the white picket distress stain if you didn't watch the previous video. I'm not going to have enough for everybody, so I was trying to work out, can I make it myself? I tried diluting white acrylic paint and it was too watery. There was a really watery halo that would come out from the paint each time. So this is Artist's Gouache paint, which I believe is opaque in comparison to the acrylic. I don't know a lot about it. I bought it to do something else and it didn't work, and it was quite expensive. This gives a good result. This is the clouds I got with it. It does behave a little bit differently. You do get a bit more of a water reaction, but it's still quite a good cloud look. The only thing is, if you've got to buy this paint and a dabber bottle, you may as well just buy the stain, because it's probably not going to save you any money in the long run. But I did already have it and gave me an extra bottle for people to use. So, having said all that, let's make sure it still works again today. Oh, that's pretty. Fluffy little clouds floating in the sky. I like that. Okay, I'm going to dry that off again. Okay, I hope I mentioned that paint was heavily diluted. It's at least 50-50 water, and I did put a little bit of glycerin in, not knowing if that actually made any difference or not, but it seemed like a good idea. And for my daughter, yes, I found my own glycerin again. Now I have got a balloon stamp. I did have a little bit of trouble stamping here because this has been wet so much. It got a bit warpy, so I didn't stamp as well as it could have, but it's still okay. It's like, who's going to look? That's the thing about doing a bit of a dirty card. In a way, you can get away with less precise stamping. That's what I say. Okay, so I want my dust buddy thing, my homemade anti-static bag, which I still think is better than any of the bought ones. Mind you, I've only tried one of the bought ones and it was fine, but These are just end up so much cheaper. And I'm going to stamp my balloon. Some embossing powder. Set that. Never get tired of watching the embossing powder go off. Make sure it's cool. And I've just got a red marker. And colour it in. And I do think to heat that again kind of brings it up a bit better again. Now, for this one I've got an assortment of die cuts that I put across for plants. I was umming and ahhing because I thought it was such pretty pastel-y colours at this point. Did I want to stamp? And I thought, no, I'm doing die cuts on this one. I'll finish it off with die cuts again. So, what do we want? Or alternatively I could just keep it with more delicate ones. You can always flip your die cuts over to get different shapes going. And anybody who looks too closely will realise it's the same one back the other way, but this one was supposed to look a bit like a branch coming in. I don't know whether it does or not, or if it just looks like I whacked one on the side. Well, I know I want to get rid of that butterfly and the extra tall bulrush. Okay, might go with something like that. more glue. And I'm just going to use my finger to put glue on the back. And put that there. This glue did dry completely clear, so once it's dry you can't see that anymore. So then this one is going to go like that. To throw out this piece of paper before it touches anything, and wipe off my finger. Sorry, the washcloths are behind the camera. Okay, scissors again. Trim this off. And then to finish it off, I'm just going to get the black soot ink. Sponge around the edges. Okay, then it just needs to be mounted, and you can put a sentiment across here, or any way you like. Could even have a little sentiment rolling along the hill there. When you mount it, make sure you put enough sticky, because it's curled after all that wet activity. And so that's my card number 2. And oh, I did forget one thing. I have a silver Wink of Stella pen, and I'm just going to colour in butterfly. I think that's it. Okay, thank you for watching.